Did you know there's been a debate, not just in Malaysia, but around the world regarding the issue of freedom of expression? Some argue that freedom of expression is not absolute, while some argue that an individual has the ultimate right to say anything he wants without any restriction. The question here is which side that can give more benefits instead of harm? Ladies and gentlemen, I am Muhammad Azfar Rafiuddin bin Anwar,
And I am Muhammad Yusof bin Taufik,
and
and
we
we
are
are
here
here to
to
talk
talk
about
about freedom
freedom
of
of
expression.
expression.
What is freedom of expression? Freedom of expression refers to the ability of an individual or group of individuals to express their beliefs, thoughts, ideas, and emotions about different issues free from any interference. Back to the question that we asked before. Which side that can give more benefits instead of harm? To answer this question, we want to quote from Ahmed Akari, which is,
Freedom of expression without limits is like a car without brakes.
it will crash into people.
It will crash into another car.
It will cause a lot of traffic collisions. And in other words, there's nothing good coming from a car without brakes. Same goes to freedom of expression. Ladies and gentlemen, referring to our visual aids here, you will get the general idea on what will happen if freedom of expression has no limitation. As you can see here, it will cause chaos. And among the chaos are racial discrimination and religious mockery. It will become even worse if this racial discrimination will increase with no limitations and this religious mockery will become widespread in the community. For that particular reason, we are here to convince you that freedom of expression should have some limitations to protect society from discrimination. Some of you might be wondering how racial discrimination will increase if freedom of expression has no limitation. Have you ever wondered about it, Yusof?
Yes, ever since we got this topic, I wonder about it a lot.
This is why I'm here to tell you all the reasons as to how racial discrimination will increase if there is no limitation on freedom of expression. For that reason, first of all, I want all of you to imagine. I want all of you to imagine if you have all the freedom to express your opinion, to talk about what's in your mind, to talk about the things you had, to talk about everything without any restriction or limitation that you must obey. What would you do? Of course, those who have strong beliefs about something will spread their beliefs. Those who support a certain assemblyman will share about the good side of him and talk bad about the others. And those who have strong racism will eventually spread racist speech with no limitation, and it may induce non racists to adopt racist beliefs, attitudes, and ideas. This means, without a doubt, that racial discrimination may increase if you have all the freedom to express what you want without any limitations. According to World Population Review, the United States of America is one of the countries with the most freedom of expression with a 0.74 GSDI. The absoluteness of their freedom of expression to the extent that they can criticize the government with offensive words. This is due to the First Amendment to the United States to the U.S. Constitution, whereby it stated that Congress shall make no law abridging freedom of speech. Therefore, regarding this issue, what's going to happen in the US? I think all of you already know. Racial discrimination will definitely increase. Just by searching racism in the United States, on Google, YouTube, or any other platforms, you can clearly see that the racial discrimination against other races, such as Black people, Native Americans, or Asian Americans in the US is the worst. Now, some of you may think that racial discrimination is not that bad, it's just a harsh word and you can completely ignore them. No, no. Racial discrimination is really bad. And what I mean by that, it actually can lead someone to suicide. According to 2015 systematic review by the National Institutes of Health, those reported experiences of racism also experience depression, stress, emotional distress, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, and suicidal thoughts. In other words, racial discrimination is really dangerous and it will be problematic if it increases with no limitation. Therefore, to prevent this from happening and to protect the society from racial discrimination, freedom of expression should have some limitations.
In today's era of globalization, we are surrounded by various facilities in giving speeches openly, especially in social media. Everyone is entitled to their opinion about the things they read, or watch, or listen to, or taste, or whatever. They are also entitled to express them online. But could you believe that if there is no limitation of freedom of expression, religious mockery and distortion will become widespread in the community? Mock religion is a belief system used humor, satire, or burlesque to question other people's spiritual beliefs. A parody religion, which is frequently created to achieve a specific goal related to another belief system, can be a parody of new religious movements at itself. Some parody religions place a premium on having a good time, and the new faith could provide a handy justification for enjoyable social engagement with like-minded people. We, as a Muslim, should protect our faith from beliefs that divide from what the Prophet Muhammad taught us. In summarizing major themes of the Quran, Fazlur Rahman says that religious truths with the secular societies of our own day find very difficult to accept are the doctrines of Tawheed, scriptural revelations, the day of divine judgment, moral responsibility, and ends of life. Some of these skeptics believe in some parts of religious truths and deny the truths of other parts, as if revealed truths can be broken up into parts. They act in accordance with only those religious principles which suit their subjective inclination and the prevalent social trends, and disregard the other principles as if part of religion is invalid. Some members of such society fall into intolerant ways and tend to deride God, His message and messengers, and scoff at all that are sacred in religion. Mocking attitude is most characteristic of them. Religious mockery is their fundamental state of mind and legacy. So, what will happen with the community if this belief is spread rapidly? To believers, religious faith is a very serious matter which underpins ultimate values of human acts. To adherents, religion refers to all the good which God has implanted in human nature that must not be corrupted. That being the reason, what I can say is that the things described earlier should not be rampant on social media because there is no restriction to it. While the right to freedom of expression is sacred to individual autonomy, liberty, and democracy in the contemporary world, it cannot be absolute and indisputable. With rights come responsibilities, and hence it is the responsibility of the citizen to make judicious use of their rights and use it for the right reasons. Hence, to make sure religious mockery and distortion will not become widespread in the community, we should have limitations on our freedom of expression. Therefore, what we must do to avoid this thing happen in our community, we should realize the importance of limitation on the freedom expression. I have some quotes about freedom of expression from Viola Spolin.
We have freedom of speech, but you got to watch what you say.
And from J.K. Rowling, she said that
There's a time and a place for getting a smart mouth.
it means not every single word that comes from our mouth is good for others, so we must watch every single word we say. Once we fully appreciate the value of the freedom of expression, we begin to see the sense in requiring the state to demonstrate a duty of justice when justifying limitation on the freedom of expression. Laws alone cannot secure freedom of expression in order that every man present his views without penalty. There must be spirit of tolerance in the population. Freedom of expression comes with responsibilities, especially when it comes with serious implications for peace. Everyone can say something according to each other's thoughts.
but not everything that is said will bring peacefulness in the community.
Thus, to protect our society from discrimination, our freedom of expression should have some limitation.
That's all from us. Thank you.
Thank you.